Dan Blocker, born Bobby Dan Davis. Blocker, on December 10, 1928, in DeKalb, Texas, grew up in the small town of O'Donnell in West Texas, where hard work, humility, and community were part of everyday life. Raised by rancher parents, Oris Shack Blocker and Mary Arizona Davis Blocker, he learned responsibility early and developed a strong moral compass that would guide him throughout his life. Even as a young man, Blocker stood out physically, eventually reaching 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighing over 300 pounds. But those who knew him best often remarked that his kindness far outweighed his size. He attended the Texas Military Institute, where discipline and leadership became second nature, before studying speech and drama at Hardin-Simmons University and later Sul Ross State University. Though acting was not initially his goal, these experiences quietly laid the foundation for his future career: education, teaching, and military service. Before Hollywood ever entered the picture, Blocker lived a life rooted in service and mentorship. After completing his education, he worked as a high school teacher and football coach in Texas and New Mexico, earning admiration for his patience and genuine care for students. Teaching was not simply a job for him. It reflected his belief in guidance, structure, and personal growth. In 1951, during the Korean War, Blocker was drafted into the United States Army and served as an infantry sergeant, a role that demanded courage, leadership, and composure under pressure. He returned home as a decorated veteran, deeply changed by his experiences, but characteristically modest about his service. These years of teaching and military duty shaped Blocker into a man of quiet authority and empathy. Later, when audiences saw him on screen, they were responding not to an act, but to qualities forged through real responsibility and sacrifice. Finding his way to Hollywood, Blocker's journey into acting was gradual and practical rather than glamorous. After returning to civilian life, he and his wife, Dolphia Lee Parker, moved to Los Angeles, where he began taking small television roles to support his growing family. He appeared in shows such as Gunsmoke, The Restless Gun, and Wagon Train, often cast as imposing figures whose presence filled the screen even in brief appearances. His breakthrough came in 1959 when he was cast as Hoss Cartwright on Bonanza. The role was transformative, not just for Blocker's career, but for television itself. At a time when large men were often portrayed as threatening or simplistic, Blocker brought warmth, intelligence, and vulnerability to Hoss. His performance challenged stereotypes and offered viewers a character who embodied strength paired with compassion, quickly making Hoss one of the most beloved figures in television history. The Heart of Bonanza. For 14 seasons and more than 400 episodes, Dan Blocker's portrayal of Hoss Cartwright became the emotional center of Bonanza. Hoss was strong enough to lift a man with one arm, yet gentle enough to care deeply for children, animals, and anyone treated unfairly. Blocker infused the character with sincerity, humor, and moral clarity, making him relatable across generations. His chemistry with co-stars Lorne Greene, Michael Landon, and Pernell Roberts helped establish the Cartwright family as one of television's most enduring ensembles. Off-screen, Blocker was known for fostering camaraderie and goodwill, often lightening the mood on set. To him, Bonanza was more than a job. It was a shared effort built on trust and respect. That sense of unity was something he valued deeply and expected others to honor as well. A strained professional relationship. Despite the outward harmony of the Cartwright family, not all relationships behind the scenes were equally smooth. Over time, tensions developed between Dan Blocker and Pernell Roberts, who portrayed Adam Cartwright. The strain was not rooted in a single incident, but rather in contrasting outlooks on acting and television. Blocker embraced Bonanza for what it was: a family-oriented series built on clear values and storytelling that connected with millions. Roberts, by contrast, often expressed dissatisfaction with the scripts and felt the show lacked the depth he desired as an actor. These differing philosophies created friction. Blocker, who prized teamwork and gratitude for success, reportedly found Roberts' frequent criticism unsettling. While the disagreement never erupted publicly, it lingered quietly, shaping a relationship that remained distant rather than brotherly. Values, loyalty, and creative differences. The divide between Blocker and Roberts reflected broader differences in temperament and priorities. Blocker approached his work with loyalty and contentment, believing that success carried responsibility to colleagues and audiences alike. He valued the stability Bonanza provided for cast, crew, and viewers, and he took pride in contributing to something larger than himself. Roberts, however, sought artistic challenge and personal fulfillment beyond the show's established formula. From Blocker's perspective, this dissatisfaction risked undermining the sense of unity that made the series special. When Roberts ultimately left Bonanza in 1965, the atmosphere on set reportedly grew calmer, though the departure marked the end of a complex dynamic. Blocker rarely spoke publicly about the situation, but those close to him suggested the experience left a lasting impression. It was not bitterness, but disappointment, rooted in a belief that shared success deserved shared commitment. Life beyond the camera. Away from Hollywood, Dan Blocker was a devoted husband and father whose family remained his greatest priority. He and Dolphia raised 4 children together, and he took pride in providing them with stability despite his demanding schedule. Blocker often returned to Texas, reconnecting with his roots and the land that shaped him. Fame never altered his sense of self. Friends described him as approachable, generous, and grounded. He avoided scandal and excess, preferring a quiet life centered on family, faith, and simple pleasures. Even at the height of Bonanza's success, he remained the same gentle giant who valued kindness over ego. This consistency earned him deep respect within the industry and enduring affection from fans who sensed his authenticity both on and off the screen. A sudden and tragic loss. Dan Blocker's life was cut tragically short on May 13, 1972. When he died unexpectedly at the age of 43 due to complications from gallbladder surgery. His passing sent shockwaves through Hollywood and devastated Bonanza's cast and audience alike. The producers chose to address his absence directly, writing Hoss Cartwright's death into the series, a decision that reflected the character's importance. Viewers mourned not only a fictional loss, but the man behind it. Many felt the show never fully recovered, and Bonanza ended the following year. Blocker's death marked the end of an era, leaving behind unanswered questions about what more he might have accomplished had he lived longer. An enduring legacy of kindness and strength. Today, Dan Blocker is remembered not simply as a television star, but as a symbol of decency, warmth, and quiet strength. His portrayal of Hoss Cartwright reshaped how audiences viewed masculinity, proving that compassion and power could coexist. While professional tensions existed, they never defined his career or character. Instead, Blocker's legacy rests on the joy he brought to millions and the respect he earned from those who knew him. Decades later, Bonanza continues to find new viewers, and Hoss remains its beating heart. In an industry often marked by ego and rivalry, Dan Blocker stood out for his humanity. That, more than any role or disagreement, is why he continues to be remembered with such genuine affection.